Before the video starts, I want you to leave a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell so you'll get notified when I release new videos. And also leave a comment as well. In this video, I will be talking about the differences between the Firelite ms-4 and an ESL 1503. Let's get started. So first of all, both of these panels are made by different companies. This one's made by Firelite, and this one's made by Century. It has a GE logo on this one. Or, sorry, not Century, Central. This has a GE logo on it. I don't exactly know what that means exactly. I know the GE logo, but maybe it's part of Central or something. I don't know. You put your ideas in the comments below. So, they both look different from each other. This one is darker red, and this one is more redder. Kind of like fire extinguisher red. The top of the control panels are different. See if I move my camera up here. You can see the top on the ms-4 has 4 zones, while down here only has 1 zone, along with some slots for some other zones. They're about the same size, but the ms-4 is thinner than the 1503. If I put these on the sides, you can see that the ms-4 is thinner than the 1503, which is pretty cool. Both of them are magnetic. I have a magnet right here. If I touch it on the ms-4 or the 1503, you can see it's magnetic, including the ms. See if I put it on the side. Well, it's kind of magnetic. If I put on the ms-4, that's also magnetic. They both take 120 volts AC, but this one requires a ground, and this one doesn't need a ground. Let me put these panels down so you can see. If you have a Firelite ms-4 manual, it has a picture of a globe on it, while the ESL 1503 manual has a picture of this panel right here. It says the ESL 1500 series down here, and it says Firelite ms-4 up there. Slightly different. Let's go ahead and open up both panels so we can see the insides of them. To open up the ESL 1503, you use this key right here. I have seen other videos that has to do with keys very similar to this, but this key is kind of different. I don't know if you can see that, it says CAT 30. So, most keys like this, I've seen like CAT 45 in other videos. But use this key, the CAT 30 key, to open up this panel. I don't have a CAT 45 key to test it out, but if I do get a CAT 45 key, I'll let you know. Let's go ahead and open up the 1503. And let's go ahead and open up the ms-4. To open up the ms-4, you just use like a standard Firelite key. To open up the ms-4, you just use a standard Firelite key. So here's the inside on both panels here. This one, the ms-4 has this little visor that sticks out, while the 1503 doesn't. This one has the little chart in there. I could go ahead and take that out for you. there's that little chart. Or not chart, like a little label thing. I don't know exactly what it's called, but yeah. Kind of gray. Let's look at the labels on the side of the door. First, I'm gonna put this back in. Oh, by the way, this is glass right here, and this is colorless, no glass in it. Or this is not. Sorry, this is like plexiglass, I should say. Go ahead, put these back on. Okay. No. Alright, now I put that back on. Let's go ahead and take a look at the labels. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the label on here. You can see on this label right here, there's like a warning label, and there's like a diagram label right there. On the ms-4, there's more labels on the ms-4. I don't remember exactly what that label is. Don't remember that one. And well, this one right here is the dip switch programming. The dip switch programming on the 1503 is right here. As far as I can zoom in. Dip switch programming is right there. The troubles are different. See here. Troubles are different there. And actually they're pretty much the same, but some of them are different. And they're arranged different on here. This one has buttons right here. As you see here. Acknowledge, alarm silence, reset, alarm silence, or start walk test, and zone disable. While the 1503 is something else that's interesting. It has switches instead of buttons. See? Normal, disconnect, walk test, reset, and sound or silence. And this is basically acknowledge. Both of these panels have two NACs. There's two right there. And there's two up in there. This one has 4 zones. This one only has 1 zone. This one has 2 wiring options, for one for this zone. Here we're just end of line resistor, and here. Both of these panels wire up differently. As you see here, if I focus this here, it had pigtail wires. While in the ms-4, it has screw holders. I don't know if you can see them, but they're right there. Let's go ahead and start with this one right here. I do not recommend doing this if you don't have like a basic understanding of electricity. And when wiring this up, always make sure that the main power cord is unplugged. See, it's unplugged here. So let's go ahead and wire up both of these panels. To wire up this one, you just connect it to the hot to hot and the neutral to neutral. Just like that. And then you use a wire cap. Just like that. Yeah, this panel needs wire nuts. Yeah, I took this wire off so I can demonstrate this. And there you go. To wire up the ms-4, what you're going to need is, you're going to need a screwdriver. power cord, it has to have a ground. And remember, as I said before, I do not recommend doing this if you don't have a basic understanding of electricity. So you'll need one with a ground, just like this. And make sure it's unplugged. So, what you want to do, you want to open up this flap. There used to be a caution high voltage label on here, but it took it off, I don't know why. So, put hot to hot. It says hot here on the board. Make sure it's nice and tight. Neutral to neutral. And ground to ground. Or, in this case, on the panel it says earth. Earth is basically the same thing as ground. And there you go. Make sure the wires are in. Now go ahead and keep that down. Do not touch this part when I plug it in. Now let's go ahead and see what each panel does when I plug it in. Starting with the ESL 1503. Go ahead and plug it in 3, 2, 1. This one you have to acknowledge by just putting that there. This one has a trouble on it because it doesn't have any batteries, but that's okay. So that's how that one turns on. Now let's see how the ms-4 turns on. 3, 2, 1. Acknowledge the trouble by pressing acknowledge. Now there's a bunch of troubles on this panel on the ms-4 because I don't have any end of line resistors over there. So yeah, both of these are different panels. That's what they look like when they're turned on and they have troubles. To connect the batteries on each panel, they take different battery cables. On the ESL 1503, it takes this kind of battery cable right here. This is the connector I'm interested in. Just like that. And it has on the end 2 spade connectors on the end. To connect up the batteries on the ESL 1503, just go ahead and connect this to the 24 volt battery in, just like that. Now what you want to do is, this battery is on right now, but should have got everything prepared before I start filming. So I have here 12 volt 1.3 amp hour, which is not recommended if you are installing this in an actual building, but if you're a collector, this would be good. So I have here 2 12 volt 1.3 amp hour batteries. So what you want to do is you want to connect black to black. Make sure you don't have the polarity wrong. And red to red. If you do get the polarity messed up, the fuse in here will blow. See here, there's a fuse there. I have to replace it once because I accidentally got the polarity wrong. Now, what you want to do is you want to take a jumper and just connect it here. From red to black. And it should work. So that's how you turn on this panel. For the ms-4, it's pretty much the same thing. The battery connector is different, but there's also another different thing, which I'll get into in a sec here. This is my DIY battery cable right here. I made it with hot glue and spade connectors. I know it doesn't look nice, don't hate. So, I will try to get an actual ms-4 battery cable someday. This is just temporary. So, it's basically the same thing. You just take your 2 12 volt batteries, put the jumper on, and then you put red to red and black to black. Pretty much the same thing that was on this panel. On the 1503. Now when you connect this up, see, it's connected, batteries are connected, but nothing's going on. That's because you need to plug it in first in order to get it to function. So let's go ahead and plug it in. See, there's no power trouble now. Now, if I disconnect this now, there's no troubles. You can see the AC light turns off, but it's still going. So you kind of have to kickstart it with 120. Another thing is about these panels is that you have more room on the bottom than it is on the ms-4. So, like for an example, if you have like a 12 volt 7 amp hour battery right here, this will fit nicely in here in the 1503, but it will not fit as nicely in the ms-4. It just kind of barely fits. I have managed to get it to fit, but I have to pull the negative end up so I can get the jumper connected. But I do have a 7 amp hour. I might get another 7 amp hour sometime. The jumper, I have to make it right here. Basically I got an existing jumper right here. I don't know if I have it on me right now. And then I basically had to extend it, just like that. On the ms-4, I had a lot more dip switches. You can see that there are 3 sets of dip switches. While on the 1503, there's only 1 set of dip switch. The transformer on this one is connected to the board, both input-output is connected to the board. While the transformer on this one, those 2 orange cables right there, that's the transformer. The transformer is behind the board. They both output around 24 volts AC. Both transformers. One has both 24 volt resettable and non-resettable power. And this one doesn't have, I think it only has like just 24 volt non-resettable. This panel has 2 relays, alarm relay and an in trouble relay. Well, this panel up here, sorry you can't read it though, but on the far right is supervisory relay. You can see I have the wire going from the 24 volt non-resettable to the supervisory common, and there's on the left of the supervisory relay there is the, I forgot which one it is. I think it was trouble. No, it's alarm. That's the alarm relay, and that's the trouble relay. The reason why I have this wire going from here to here for the relay, going from the 24 volt non-resettable to the relay, is I have my wheel-lock RSSA connected to it. And I set a zone to supervisory, and I connected my emergency power off push station to that zone. I'll do a separate tutorial on how to do that, in case if you don't know. But both of the panels are pretty much the same. The board is slightly bigger on the ms-4 than it is on the ESL 1503. I'll go ahead and zoom out here. You can't really tell much what the board size is, but if I take this little cover off, you can actually see the board. The 2 boards look very different from each other. This is the sounder right here, the beeper, right there. And on the ms-4, the beeper is right here. Much smaller and much quieter, as you may have noticed when I plugged them in. Of course, I'm not going to plug in the ms-4 again because I already have it disconnected. How I can tell that this one is a 1503, that on the front of the panel it says 1500. If I go ahead and close this panel, you can see it says 1500 series. But how do I know if it's a 1503? I've showed this on my 20 subscriber special. It's actually right here. I don't know if you can see that well, but you can see the 1503 mark is checked. I'll put a picture of that on the screen now so you can get an idea of what's on there. So you're probably wondering, where did I get these panels here? I know panels are expensive. But if you may not remember, I'm going to run a little recap on the screen right now about this panel.
Flashback.
Hey guys, look what I got from my school today. A fire alarm panel.
End of flash.
So, you may not remember, this panel right here I got from my school during the fire alarm testing. I got this panel for free, which is very nice. This panel right here, oh by the way, shout out to United Fire for giving me this panel. And this is the Firelite ms-4 right here. I got this one off of eBay. As you may remember, I got the panel and the board separately for the ms-4. Pretty cool. So, let's go ahead and quickly take a look at the back of the panels. I'm going to go ahead and flip over the panels. I'm going to go ahead and flip over the panel, but with the magic of editing, you do not have to watch me flip the panels over. So, jump cut. So here's the back of each panel right here. That's the ms-4, and that's the 1503. You can see on the ms-4, there's a lot more mounting holes right here. There are 2 mounting holes down here, and there's 2 hook mounting holes up there. On the 1503, you can see there are the 2 mounting holes there, and there's only 1 mounting hole hook right there. There are 2 knockouts on the back of the 1503, and there are no knockouts on the back of the ms-4. Both panels pretty much have knockouts on all sides, except the back. Eventually, I would do a video on how to wire up these 2 panels right here. So if you're going to go out and buy a panel, you would know what to expect. I highly recommend the ms-4, not just for collectors, but for like small buildings, churches, small schools and stuff. This panel would be the way to go. Yeah, this is a nice panel, like it. Good for collectors and small buildings. If you're going to get a panel and you're a collector, I recommend getting the Firelite ms-4. I do not recommend going for like a Firelite 10UD or 92 UDLS. Yeah, as your starter panel, just go for the ms-4 as your starter panel, because that's a good panel. I'm still keeping both of these panels. And I would do more videos on the ESL 1503 as well. Yeah, I'm not getting rid of any of these panels right here. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of this video.